So into the silence today, and from the silence, we have these words: love, freedom, authenticity, powerful, creative, open, true, relaxed, transcend, in the phrase all of it, and tenacity. And just feel the expansiveness of each of them. And the power of the creative structure that they help to put us in, that they facilitate for us. And now add gratitude. For the time just to be. To be with each other's hearts. Honoring all that is. In the most difficult of times. As we do in the best. Knowing that embracing it all is our work.
Good morning, Mona.
Good morning, Mona.
Morning.
Good morning, beautiful heart-centered creator Mona. Nice to have
Good
you with
morning,
us.
handsome Will.
What ways of being do you choose to be today, Mona, when you're available?
Well, today I choose patience, love, and understanding.
Beautiful. Thank you. Mind if I share that in the chat?
Thank you, Allison. I'm on my cell phone, so I have a hard time with that.
I'll add supporting one another. Team. Together. Is expanding passions. Expanding purpose. Together, expanding intentions.
Jesse.
Yes.
That my experience of you is supportive, creating space for us to be who we really are here. And you create this space to expand passions, purpose, and our intentions for being here. And I invite you, when and if you're available, to share, who do you get to be in this purpose? Who do you get to be when you expand passions, purpose, and intentions in the world? You get to be today.
Get to be me. To experience situations, circumstances, relationships, revealing the difference between what I want and don't want. Revealing unknowns, revealing choices, revealing expectations. And I get to be with those and be aligned and one step closer to mine and others. To learn that I can share and others can share what they've learned. And may I be curious. Rather than resistant, frustrated, limited, constrained. Supportive, expansive, intention.
Mm. Alignment, aligned, and aware of the misalignment, disalignment, the unaligned.
What does that mean to you in as you go forth in the world today, being in alignment?
Harmony,
Harmony?
harmony, expansion, movement. And aware of the resistance, the contractions, the limitations. Acknowledge what is. And be in it as long as needed.
My experience of you is patient, curious, gentle, supportive, kind, curious, and I'm complete. Oh, and heart-centered. Now I'm complete.
and perceptive.
My experience of you is passionate for life, enthusiastic for what's next. Look around the corner, anticipating, connecting, collaborating, improving.
Thank you for the feedback. I appreciate you. Thank you for filling my heart and seeing me.
Thank you.
So if you were to be who you came here to be on this planet, your heart started up. You were super conscious. You grew your body. You were birthed. You were and are creative essence in human form. And you knew exactly who you were and why you were here. And somewhere along the way, things happened. And you and all of us formed a worldview. We formed beliefs of how it is, how we thought it was. And we forgot who we really are. We forgot why we came here. And we were lost. But now we are awakening to our true and authentic essence. We remember now we are creators. We get to create now and now and now, today, by being our essence, by being our true nature, and by standing for our purpose for being here. Bye, Mona. And so I welcome you, Jesse, and everyone back into who you are and who you get to be today. You get to be your purpose. You get to connect with your essence. And you get to bring forth your reason for being alive on this planet. You get to embody that today and bring forth beautiful you into the world today. So my question goes out to everyone. Why are you here? Why were you born? Why did you come here? What is your purpose for being here? And if there's 3 words that come into your heart and present themselves, I invite you to share. And if not, that's okay. That's okay too. This is a opportunity, a possibility to explore every day now, moving forward. My name is Will, and I am a powerful, creative, authentic leader. That is my purpose. That is why I came here. And I love you guys. Thanks for playing in the sandbox with me. I'm complete.
To lead authentic change.
Say again, Jessica.
To lead authentic change. Change leader. To guide change. Guide intentions. Guide directions. Directives. Initiatives. Guide passions. Help, support, getting out of our own way. Authentic change leader.
Authentic change leader. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
So if you were to phrase that in the I am, how would that sound?
I am a leader of authentic change.
So Jesse is a leader of authentic change. I typed it in the chat. Now, if you were to embody authentic change in 3 ways of being, who would you be being when you are embodying authentic change? 3 words, 3 ways of being.
Open, sincere, listening.
Word sincere.
Open, sincere, listening.
Oh, bye-bye. So does this resonate in your essence, Jesse? I am an open, sincere, listening leader. Feel that in your heart. That is authentically who you are.
Yeah, I am an open, sincere, listening leader. Guide, facilitator of change.
Thank you.
Okay.
So before Allison left, she shared mind in the chat. She shared mind is facilitating the essence of beauty in us all with compassion, collaboration, and authenticity. Minds shared, I came to experience life, share love, and be of service. Feel that. Thank you, Heinz. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Allison. Thank you for being here. And thank you for giving your true self to the planet today. I'm I've got some commitments to go to now, and I just want you all to know that I appreciate you.
Blessed day, Will.
Thanks, Will. Have a great day.
Thanks, Justin. Talk soon.
Thank you.
Just the two of us.
Well, just the two of us for
Yep.
now. Mhm.
Good morning, Sindel.
Good morning, Heinz. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning, Central. Sorry, I was on mute.
Did I miss all of that?
Mhm.
Hmm. I'm reading your words. Love, freedom, authenticity, powerful, creative, open, true, relaxed, transcend, all of it in tenacity, gratitude. My word is introflective.
Can I get a description of that word?
So I'll caution you first. I do have the capacity to make up words based on my feelings. So it's going inside without any limitations and seeing what's there. Reading any writing on the wall of whatever I see, like if I go into a memory, I read it more from a super conscious state than versus a beingness state. And gleaning from the emotions from it, but not attached to the emotions. Like the emotions give me more understanding of myself. I don't have to be those emotions right now. If I want to, I can visit and sit in them, if whatever I like, but it's going through, how you can go through the passage of time in a memory, but now I go not just to remember how it made me feel, but also seeing how I've grown, how my perspective has broadened based on infinity, based on expansion. So there used to be a cartoon, it may still come out, I have to Google it. What was the name of it? Travel to it's like the Magic School Bus. So does anybody know about the Magic School Bus?
I know of where you could take it anywhere.
I heard the word, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
Okay. Yeah. So it's the children go to school and it looks like a normal school. So they study, like, for instance, science, and they take a field trip. And if they're studying the body, they get on this Magic School Bus and it shrinks and it goes into the body and they discover like an experience cells splitting and growing and multiplying and dying off, and they experience and witness everything that's happening. So I relate to that as introflective because I'm going inside the oracles of time, of my mind, of my being, of who I was then and now and in between, and learn of like all the wisdom that I get to glean from experiences I've had. Sometimes we value reading someone else's book or biography, autobiography, and so we can relate. But I can actually go into the oracles of my own time and read the writings, the meanings, the feelings, the memories, and I can learn from it like so objectively. I think one of the things that propelled me to that is because I was a little dumbfounded yesterday to find the right words to relate to two young ladies, and one of they are twins. That's a thing of itself. And one, it was just so consumed with being bullied off of the opinion of this one other girl in school. And I was just really trying to be open and go there and not just come from a been there, done that kind of thing. Oh, don't pay them no mind. No, it's not that easy when you're the one being bullied, and for someone just to cavalierly say, oh, don't pay them no mind. You giving them your power, those little things that we say. But you don't know what those things really mean when you're 12 years old. What do you mean I have power? And I was only with them for a short period of time. It's like I wanted to tell her so much, but she was so focused on this other young lady teasing her and telling her she's ugly and she's beautiful, right? But of course, I would say that I see her beauty, but even compared to other standards, she's beautiful. So, like the mom is saying, she's just jealous of you and blah, blah, blah. But there's no jest. You can't use jest in a way that it comes out where it minimizes somebody else's experience. And I just could not get to the heart of the matter that would just like super empower her and make her be a champion of her own life, so that when she would go to school the next day, she would, be so resilient to the nonsense of a bully saying anything to her and it really grating her emotions and her focus of self-degradation. So that was between that and a dream that I had last night or this morning. I went back to the experience of, what is this thing called love? Like we speak of love every day. First, if there's any comments on what I said before, I'll pause.
I just found it interesting that we can go in time, we can go backwards, and we can go forwards.
Mm.
What I say is, well, appears to be important with that is next time that we face the bully, what could we do?
Mm.
It goes with any one of us. It's our tendency is to see that we can pull from a past memory, but we can also be pulling future memories.
Mm. But like I just wanted to help her You know, I didn't want her to go to school today and shrink under this bully, to be defined by this bully, to be bullied.
The coulds, it will happen again. We can use it as how could we when we engage that again, when we encounter it again.
Mm. Yeah. And if there's a way that it could be modeled for her so she could see herself in the role that she's playing and the role that the other person is playing, and even maybe, act it out. But it's like she has she doesn't know that she has resources to go to within her to not be subjugated to that, to keep responding to it in a way that it really empowers the bully more and more.
How many options does a victim have?
Infinite.
They only have one.
Why you say one?
The victim, they've only got one to be under their power.
Well, they have the option to not be under anyone's power.
They don't see that.
Yeah. Yeah,
So they
don't.
don't.
Yeah.
The victim doesn't. The victim has only one option, and that's surrender to the perpetrator,
Mm.
the abuser.
Mm.
Yes, we all, from the outsider, knows that they have all sorts of options, not the victim.
Mm. Powerlessness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna.
That's what the help is to see that there's another choice. For them, for the victim to see they have another choice. The structure is for the bully, it makes the bully feel good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
And just patterns for both.
The bully also only have one choice, being the bully.
Mm-hmm. Yep. For where they can get it, right? For wherever they can take what they need to take.
Mm. I don't know at this moment how to help the victim at that age and stage of things see something other than being that victim.
We can say whatever we want, but it's actually up to her. She needs to come to the conclusion, I don't want to be a victim. Then she got the possibilities opening for her. But it's a choice. I was a victim once, so it's a hard choice.
Well, go ahead.
Definitely for kids. I was in that victim role a long, long time because we don't believe we have another choice.
Yeah, some people say like ignore it. Some people tell you ignore them, but the bully keeps coming at you.
Yep.
And then people say, stand up for yourself. But then you end up the one getting in trouble with the teacher and the, when you fight back.
Yep.
So what helped you? Did anything help you?
Nope. I went through a long, long time. And I believe I was in the victim role even when they took my kids and everything. So it was a choice for a long time. I just had to realize, hey, it's nothing personal. Even though it sounds it, it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with them. I had to realize what was going on, put myself in their position and see it from there. And I realized, oh my God, they got such a low self-esteem. They are so bound by their own rules that they don't even see it.
Yeah, but I know that you know that now, but going back to being a victim of other kids bullying, is there a way to deflect that off of you so you're not the object of being the victim?
I don't know. I don't think I would have listened to anything anybody would have said, because once you're in the victim role, it's sort of what do you call it? Comfortably known in a way, even though it's the unknown we are afraid of. What will happen if I step out of my role? It's just like being an adult, just kids are way more mean.
Yeah.
They don't think about what they're saying.
So you can find, so the victim role is a very deep one and it's for survival. And so we can assume that that victim plays all sorts of degrees over all other circumstances and situations. So it's just not with that one person, but you just may not see it, but there's consistency throughout everything when it's under that situation. So you can find something that's not as charged, that's not as emotional, and help them see where they're playing that victim.
Mm-hmm. So I'm getting a sense of not taking accountability for your own feelings, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a good one.
When you said it shows up other places, I've also heard this child respond to, like, the mother tells the kids to do something and she says something like, I always have to be the one to do the dishes. Mm-hmm. So that's a victim response, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep, totally.
Or comparing herself to others. That's a victim response.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think Yeah, I'm thinking of, you know, a softer way to get in there to help her
Yep.
The one thing
notice.
that truly helped me was starting to like oneself, because other
Mm.
people will recognize that hey, they've changed. But as long as you are the victim, you'll fall into that role and they'll exploit it.
Yeah, the victim has no choices. So if we can help them, I loved that idea that it was great. It's like to acknowledge how it is, to just the experience of it, and then choosing, like, oh, how do you choose to feel about it for as long as you need to, and how would you want it to be? What would you want to do?
Ooh, ooh. And this is just not the victim either. Ask that question again. How long?
How would you want it? How would you want it to be? How would you want to feel at the end of it? So it's creating a future memory is the very same way as
Mm-hmm.
saying, like, as if a bully, let's just imagine a bully comes at you again. So someone will draw that past experience, they'll put it out into the future, and what they'll begin to do is see how they're going to respond. It's just a way to condition that there's a new way to respond to it. So what you
Mm-hmm.
can do is start to explore with her, like, when it happens again, what could you do? And just let her go with all sorts of places that she would do.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. It's all about the choices.
Which may help her use her imagination and create non-victim responses
Exactly.
Yep.
in a safe place.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's
she
in
can
the
start
conception,
feeling that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so that the nervous system is ready, so the unconscious is ready when the situation happens again. She's standing there knowing she's got choices. That's
Some of the
taking the
bullies,
power back.
some of the bullies you can deflect just by questioning what they're doing. How does this make you feel?
Mm-hmm.
Because then they
And
have to look within themselves instead of projecting their anger to you.
some will dig deeper, harder, stronger. So you can anticipate, you can say, look, they're going to come at you harder. If you don't give them what they're looking for, like you have in the past, they're going to dig deeper. Then what would you do? You get to the point where the victim says, oh, it's just not going to bother me. Wonderful. I'm going to rise above it, beyond it.
That's
Like the,
I see. Go ahead.
like the simple answer, oh, you say so.
Yeah. Um, but when they walk down the hall and just bump into her and knock her, do you ignore it? What is ignoring it, and how do you actually rise above it? Do you just, but the answer's inside of her. It has to
That's
be
right.
come from her.
Yep. Yep. So have her play scenarios out, like just the different ways that it shows up for her, because she'll know those ways, and then it's like, all right, when that happens, walk through it all. What could you do? How could you respond? And all it is just getting out the ways that she wants to respond.
Yeah.
Because she wants to respond, but she knows she can't, because again, she's a victim to something, to the consequence of what would happen to responding. It's a pattern. It's everywhere.
But it's breaking out of that pattern. So it's like it, but
Yep.
if you knew how to break out the pattern, what would that look like to help open up her speaking on it?
Always in a safe space, always in a forward conversation, always when it happens next time, now, and pull out all ranges. Allow her to do, like, in her mind, she'll speak to the edges, right, to the degrees, and allow her to.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can walk into, well, what would that mean? What would that mean? And at some point, right, then she's prepared rather than just going unhinged when it happens.
Yeah, like hauling off and jumping on her and fighting to the nth degree and get expelled from school.
That's right. And so if we work that through our mind first, right, one, it's released, it's out there. So it's like not charged, it's not pent up. So then it's out. Doesn't mean that won't happen, but it just means that that is out, and there's another way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sort of like reverse psychology. When they bump into you, you just say, "Oh, sorry, I didn't see you." You take away their power of "here I am" by declining it to, "Oh, I didn't see you."
Mm.
That's what they want. They want to be seen. They want to be heard.
They're starving for attention, and so they'll take it from those they can take it from.
Right.
So there's that way. There's a sharing, like with the bully, because it doesn't, from a victim's point of view, they are powerful. We've given them all the power. We don't see that they're hurting. There's a way to explain from a bully's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And her explaining from a bully's perspective. That's all it is opening it up so that they share where they're coming from, and they can hear it then for the first time. It's just what we do in creating. It's the resistance to it, to what we want.
Yeah, which is better than like her mother telling her or me telling her from a bully's perspective. But
Yep.
for her to sit in it and see it and feel it from a bully's perspective, she'll get a different array of choice responses. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Well, I honor your sincerity and compassion, and for this individual, for this child.
Mm-hmm.
Your heart knows, you've already made a big impact by listening to her, acknowledging her. And not just coming at her with the same response that has been heard over and over and over again of how to deal with her.
Yeah, and it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. It doesn't help her greet the next day she has to go to school.
you know, and probably fearful for that next encounter. So mentally, in the conception side of it, is we work through all the different encounters that it, we only have to do it once or twice. And how would we do it? How would we respond? And we're just conditioning ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And many people say stand up for yourself. Well, that's sort of like switching roles. Then you become the bully in another way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He needs to step out of those two categories and sort of just ignore, in a way, ignore both of them. Not being the victim and not giving the bully the power. So it's a real tough one, especially with children.
Yeah. I mean, it's difficult to behave or respond like adults expect you to, or tell you to behave, but when it just doesn't jive when you're in the crux of the event occurring. So she doesn't have any other tools to work with. So having these talks with her are letting her explore and express and condition herself. The answer can come from inside of her instead of trying to do what everybody expects her to do, including the bully. Because it doesn't feel real and tangible. The instructions that she's given, they're not her own tools. Okay.
It's good you're thinking about it this way, because then you're not treating her as a victim. You're treating her as a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
Big difference. If you put her into the victim role, she'll just feel it even more.
Mm-hmm.
So you're breaking the cycle in one way by adjusting how to go forward, how to let her know it's got nothing to do with her. It's nothing personal. It's something with them. They would do it to whomever they could take power away from.
But at the same time, the question begs, but why did she pick me and not somebody else? Of all the people in the school, why am I one of the ones that she picks?
Just a victim. It's again just the victim pattern.
Mm-hmm.
It's because she's asking the question, why me?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes even the strong will protect them, but it will not change the victim role then. It'll just be that you're a protected victim.
Mm. So, shifting gears a little bit, but not really. The introflective. I had a dream state, a lucid dream state that was moving very, very fast. And it took me to what now I see is when I was sitting in a victim role. And in that victim role, my superconscious was like showing me that I wanted resolution for something that I have confessed that I have forgiven somebody over. But I actually, in the dream state, I wanted that person to know, feel, and experience the anguish that I experienced with them being a part of my life, and the way they just discarded me, like act like I never existed, like sucked all the life out of me and then just left. And the devastation that it caused, right? Divorce and all of these other things. And I was like really trying to get this person to feel what I felt, experience what I experienced. But they just chose not to. They just absolutely chose not to. And if they did, they gave me no compassion back that they wanted to or could even begin to want to relate to what they did. And given the opportunity, it wouldn't be any different. So I thought, but now I was like, why are you trying to convince this person to feel what you feel? And you're going all the way back there to feel those feelings again in order to dramatize and display what they didn't get before. And they probably could get it, but they just absolutely choose not to get it now because it's not beneficial to them. And if it's like, really making somebody pay for what they did, and you really can't make anybody, is there any degree of satisfaction that would really fulfill them experiencing the pain and discord that they caused? And I came and then it's like I swooped all the way back from being down in the intensity. It's like scenery and everything, like certain people were in places and all of this other stuff going on. And then it's like my superconscious like pulled me up out of it, and it was me, and I was just laughing. I was like, such a waste of time. But you had to go there to realize that's a waste of time. And your joy is so much more fun being in your joy. But it still had to be visited because there's this gate of that needed to be released for another unveiling of my own depths and my ability to love, like to really be free to love, like really to be free to trust, to love, to be able to choose the right environment when it is to love, because that represented me making a choice that wasn't right for me to love. So now I needed to go back and pick up the not the pain of the experience, but the wisdom of the experience, to be available to love, because now the knowledge of self is exposed and witnessed, to make choices that are for me, and they not be selfish, and not make choices for other people that what I give of myself. But when I give, I make the very good, clear, delineated aligned choice to love where it's good and right for me as holistically as I choose it to be. And if that option is not present, that I'm so okay to love me without having a place to directly give that love I imagine to be.
You got the experience from it. What did they learn from it? Nothing. They're still stuck in the same old patterns. You got to move on. They didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're going on having their own experiences, but that's not relative to me any. That's not relative. It's a disengagement for me that has emotionally that has happened on a deeper level that needed to happen for me. Has nothing to my growth from it has nothing more to do with my freedom. But I can know these things, but it's like I had to walk through it to experience it just as much as the 12-year-old would having a conversation to walk through those experiences emotionally with questions and imagination and introflexion. That's what I experienced. And maybe that's why her stuff even triggered me as much as it did, because there was something in her that was a growth point for me to not just help her, but it really was like a little skeleton key that was like, yeah, Syndrome, you can go in and unlock this now too.
Mhm.
Because for me to want to be in this person's face and want them to feel the, to just charge them with the excruciating experiences that I experienced because of the existential drama that was encountered during the spell that I lived with them in my life. That's really like hollering at the bully. The bully's like, I ain't there with you. Because the bully's not taking any accountability. So you can't make other people feel what you feel if they don't want to feel it, if they don't want to acknowledge it with you, to you.
Consciousness is a funny thing. It comes whenever it wants to. Doesn't always come the same day, the same year. It may be 10 years and all of a sudden they'll get conscious about what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little late to say I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they gotta find a way to live with the things they've done. Not always as fun as it sounds. I think they have their own way of being accountable to themselves.
You said something about, it can come years later. And I now I think of the Ho'oponopono prayer. It has benefited me before. And so again, I say to all of self and all that is, I love you. Thank you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Mm.
Well, Cinderella Hines, thank you for great second hour.
Thank you for a great day, Jesse.
Yes.
You both have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Cinderella.
you. Thank
Love
you,
and
hug.
hug.
Thank you, Jesse.
Bye.
Love and hugs.